Hey Tamers, Regina or Jigglypuff here, and welcome to Tamer Thoughts. So this is going to be me commentating over a match, either from locals or just like casual pickup games with friends. And in this case, I am going to be playing Puppets against my good friend Greg, who is playing Ulforceveedramon. And this was going to be a very interesting match. It was sort of a test run for both of us, as I'd only played against Ulforce once before this, and I don't think he had played against Puppets yet. So this was just a very good chance for us to go ahead and figure this out. We had already finished our mulligans and are setting up for the game. Greg is going first, hatching into that new promo V from Tamer packs. That one is whenever you attack, if you have a blue Tamer, or when you attack or you play blue Tamer, you draw a card. He's even going to the new Vmon, which is the one that reduces your evolution cost. That one's actually really scary to play against, and we have here going into a blue scramble, which means either the memory choke or no level 4 is what I'm assuming more often. For the puppet side, going Kiaro straight into an emblem and playing out a Shumon, you are able to search the top 3 cards of your deck. This way you pick up a puppet and a liberator card from here. And honestly, it's kind of cheeky not evolving a rookie in the back. Sometimes that's totally fine, because in a deck against Ulforce, they require a little bit of setup as much as you do, and when it comes to decks like that, then you're sometimes okay just having the rookie out on there, because there's not really a chance for the Ulforce player to be able to bounce everything back on the crackback on this turn, so at least you have something there. The danger of it, though, is that you at least have an egg just in the back, which means you're skipping out on a turn where you can hatch and get another stack going. And in this case, we do actually have a 4. This is the one that lets you pick up one Digimon with Vidra in its name, I think, and then the Tamer. And here now we have an actual rookie going into the back. Could have been that Shumon that was picked up earlier, but a swing into security. Not really a lot of level 5 aces that are being run here, and the check is against an Ulforceveedramon, which if you are the puppet player, like I was, then you're super happy with that, because it's one less level 4 you have to worry about. Of course, there is a scramble there that you have to worry, but finishing off the turn with the Orisa, that gives you a memory if your opponent has a Digimon in play, and all turns when a puppet is deleted or a token is deleted, you can suspend it to play out a level 3 puppet. This Vmon is very actually old now, that one that's going in the back. That one is the one I want to say is I think when it becomes unsuspended, then you, like, outside of like your started turn, essentially you gain a memory from it. But this Veedramon is getting set up yet now into an Arrow Veedramon. And the Arrow Digimon means that you can suspend it next turn and find your Tamers from the top of your deck. That scramble also means you have access to that Ulforceveedramon. So a little bit precarious, like on a turn 2 setup essentially. And this Orisa does gain a memory at the start of main phase because the opponent has a Digimon, so we go to 2 memory here. We're evolving into the Promo Shushumon, and this Promo Shushumon allows you to play out a token. This token is the familiar token that puppets are currently known for, which is they are white Digimon that have no level. They have 3000 DP only, and when they are deleted, they give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 3000 DP for the turn. The special thing about this Promo Shushumon, though, is that it does play from security. And more importantly, the token that it makes is deleted at the end of your opponent's turn. So it does matter actually which tokens you are making for this one, and you should be paying attention to what tokens you are currently making for that particular Digimon. And the Chaparro is now going to be on here. This is the Chaparro that when Digivolving, you are allowed to play out a level 3 puppet Digimon from your hand. So it is a free body technically, and this is going to be the Shumon on play. Search the top 3, you add a puppet or a liberator. We see another Chaparro, a Shumon that is the promo Shumon on play, security tech -1. And then the Orisa from this new set, which is a start of main phase trigger that you can bottom deck it to play out an Orisa. It's a weird version of a scramble as well, because if you don't have a Shumon, you can play one out from trash. And end of turn, the overclock for the Chaparro is deleting the familiar token, because it's going to get deleted anyway, and then you draw for the Kiaro, and you're able to now play out a puppet because of the Orisa trigger as well. The Orisa suspending does also activate a delay effect that you can potentially do, but the Hanimon here, which is from EX7, which is actually Mirai's partner Digimon, allows you to trash a Digimon card from your hand, or sorry, any card from your hand, to grab back a puppet from your trash. And now the delay is being activated, which reduces the cost of one of your Digimon, of one of your puppet Digimon to evolve into a puppet and liberator trait specifically, by the cost reduced by 3. So the fun part here is that you can, go into a Nyabutmon Digimon because of this for 3 memory only, because the condition for the Nyabu from warping is that you have a Chapuro that has you have an Arisa on the field. The emblem allows you to warp into that for a reduced cost of 3, so instead of 6, it's only for 3. There's a 1 Digivolving effect happening with the Nyabu that lets you play level 4 or lower puppet, and then for each one of your Digimon, you minus 3k to one of your opponent's Digimon here. So getting rid of that stack is actually really good, especially if you know that there is an Ulforce going on the field. And now that you have the Shumon trigger happening, you are able to pick up 2 more cards. And the Nyabu also has an All-Turns effect. So when any of your Digimon are deleted, you can activate its 1 Digivolving effect again. And it does have 1 layer of protection with the Chavromon as well. And against something like Ulforce, 6 memory might seem like a lot, but here you're sort of banking on them putting all their eggs into that 1 Digibasket in terms of that 5 being like their big sort of mainstay in there. So we have a potential scramble happening here because they are looking in their trash right now. So kind of determining what you might be missing, right? You can kind of see from like the angle of this video that there is a bunch of cards in their hand that can kind of help them out here. I think the biggest issue is that to be able to loop with Ulforce, you're going to need more than 1 Tamer at a time. But choosing to scramble here is going to grab back that level 4, and you are going to be able to play out that level 3 again. This, importantly though, that level 3 does not gain rush because this is at the start of your turn, but it does cheapen the evolution cost of your into your level 4. 6 memory again, very scary, but also have to be wary of that Nyabutmon having that ability to DP reduce a Digimon by 3, 6, 9, 12, at least 15k DP, which is a lot, and Ulforce Protection and Evade does not protect against that DP reduction, which is probably one of the biggest deals here. But the Vmon is going to get pushed out, and it's a little bit scary now because we know that they put back that level 4 on top, so they are able to grab that. We didn't see them pick up that Ulforce from the trash, but you can kind of see that there was 1 in the hand. So there is some Digimon that are going to get bounced back right now. It's just a matter of how many Tamers the Ulforce player can find, because again, the Tamers are like the biggest sort of linchpin when it comes to this deck. And I genuinely think that this matchup is a little bit more favored towards Puppets because of 1, the protection that they have with the level 5s, and 2, their DP reduction means that you don't have to worry about that evade. But the Veedramon is now going to be evolved for 1 here, and it's going to let them play out that Rena. This is the new Rena, which is a memory Tamer, replacing actually a lot of the Tamers that you would have had before in this deck. I think most people have already cut out their Davises for this Rena, and then that Demi V promo is allowing them to draw a card because they played out a blue Tamer. And I actually think that Demi Vmon promo is really nice to have because it's less dangerous than either swinging or suspending in some way and having to worry about getting like deleted insecurity. But we're going to get another level 4 evolution here. This is the promo Veedramon that you look at the top 3 and you add a Veedra and a Tamer. That is the original Secret Arena, and that is a very scary pickup to look at if you are on the opposite end of that table, because that is the start of the potential loop for Ulforce. These Veedramon promos got insane out of nowhere. They are a great boost to the deck, and it's arguable if they are super necessary or not. But the issue is that they are so high costed right now because they are just a promo, but they are very good for the deck, right? Being able to search your top 3 and you're able to pick up at least 2 things if you get really lucky with the hits on there, makes it for a very scary sort of card to look at. Now we have another level 5. This is the Arrow Veedramon. This is the Vmon that pushed out from Racing, so this one can attack if it needs to. And this Arrow Veedramon is the new one from BT22. And this one will let you bounce, will let you bottom deck, I think it's like a level 4 or lower. So the Honeyman is going to get sent away, which that's fine, I think, if you are on the Puppet side, because Honeyman is nice to get the Graveyard Recursion, but you're really looking for the Kuguyamons for that sort of thing. So it's okay to have your Searchers in your trash because you have ways of playing them out again. And now the Arrow Veedramon is swinging. The Rena is going to be returned to the hand, and it gives it jamming. But we're going to hit a Security Shumon. This one is going to, Security Shumon. This is the one from the starter deck. It lets you play a Liberator with 4 cost from your hand or from your trash. So it does do battle, and as long as it's a forecast, it could be a Tamer or it could be a Digimon, and this is going to be another Arisa that's being played out. This is the same Arisa from earlier, which is if your opponent has a Digimon, you gain 1 memory, and all turns, once per turn, one of your puppets or tokens is deleted, you can suspend it to play out a level 3 puppet. A scramble here is also terrifying. It means the evolution into an Ulforce is way cheaper, and we see the Ulforceveedramon here. It is going to be just for a 1-cost evolution. This lets you play out that secret Ina that we had seen earlier, and when that happens, you can unsuspend this Ulforce to bounce back now a level 3 or lower, and you add 1 for each of your Tamers. There is going to be a couple of memory gained here, 1 because of the Ulforce unsuspending, that inherit, and then the Rena happening as well. So they are now free to be able to swing with jamming. And then Nabumon still hasn't triggered technically because it's not a deletion effect. There was 2 secret Renas, so they are able to do this again. And that second check is going to be another security Shushumon. This time, this is the one that plays itself out and plays out that familiar token. And remember, this familiar token goes away at the end of your opponent's turn. So even if they get around all the bouncing, around all the DP reduction, and are able to bounce back a bunch of Digimon, because the familiar tokens don't have levels, the Ulforce cannot target it, and it is now a good layer of protection for the Nyabutmon to activate with that Chaparro inherit. But there is a potential that because there's no blockers, because there's no Kaguyamon on the field, and there was no new Shumon on the field, that if Ulforce, which I don't see a 3rd secret Rena on here, if you are not able to play out the loop continuously, then what happens is you kind of stutter a little bit. But if they had been able to find all of the cards, all of the secret Renas, there's a potential that they can just OTK you in that turn, right? It is so scary to watch them get set up, because that inherit on the Ulforceveedramon also lets unsuspend, and now you've sort of got if there is 1 more secret Rena in this hand, right, they just swing 1 more time, then they play out the secret Rena, and they can unsuspend again. There is a very high chance that there's either that or the Ulforce X antibody, which I'm not quite sure if any lists are running those right now, because that gives you another unsuspend. And again, this is why it's a little risky to give Ulforce Dex the 6 memory, because if they have a way to bounce back from it, then they 100% have a way to just get you out of seemingly nowhere, because the deck now has a lot of access to search and way cheaper evolutions thanks to the advent of scrambles, and the fact that this is again from just 1 turn, right? That's 4 security down already. That was 3 so that was 3 security Digimon though. And I think this is where it gets a little tricky, because if they're not able to, I think, clear on this turn, then the Nyabutmon has a chance to DP reduce the Ulforce depending on how much DP is available to that Digimon, because it's at least 3, 6, 9, 12. Oh, sorry. It's at least 12,000 DP, because that a familiar token will delete itself, and it's minus 3k, and Ulforce has a way of giving itself DP boost, but not enough that it can get over, I think, a 12k boost from I don't think it has enough ways to give itself a boost to avoid at minimum a 12k or a minus 15k, because the Nyabut will play out another level 4. So we are going to see a physical training here instead to pass the turn on 1, and that is a 4 and a 5. Again, these are the promo Veedramon and then the new Arrow Veedramon. The promo Veedramon going to be sent to the bottom of the deck for the level 5 instead. At the end of the turn, that the promo Shushumon's familiar token will get deleted, which means that it's minus 3k DP to something. And now there's a little bit of math that you have to do here, because the Nyabutmon can at least try to delete a little bit more. And so it'll be a activation on the Arisa first, because they will trigger at the same time. So you can play out the Shumon, so that's an extra body of DP reduction, just in case. You're going to look at the top 3, picking up the promo Shushumon, and then the new Central, which is the new level 6 here. And then the Arisa is because you played out one of these, you get to draw a card. Nyabutmon will also now trigger, so you're replacing that familiar body with this. And that is another promo Shushumon, so that is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and then a minus 18 altogether, and then another familiar token being played out here. I think this was the one point of contention. This is just me breaking the like the immersion a little bit. But I think this was a point where like Greg and I were trying to figure out if that familiar token would have gone away at the end of the turn. I don't think it really matters in the scheme of things because there is a ton of a lot of bodies being able to be swinging out on here, and that 2 extra memory gain as well from the Erases. So there's 3 memory to work with, and a level 4 already out on the field. But a Hanimon evolution in the back, probably just to be safe. I've seen way too many people lose to not evolving a rookie in the back when it matters the most. Nyabu swinging at security. Very few things I think it can actually die to in an Ulforce deck. We hit a level 4 here. The familiar token is also swinging. If the familiar token does not get deleted on here, it's either the Shumon is now swinging as well. But yeah, the familiar token potentially getting deleted at the end of the opponent's turn because it was played out or not getting deleted. I don't think matters in the grand scheme of things because there's still 2 more bodies being able to swing out. There is a couple triggers with the draw for the Kyaromon. You can play out 2 more bodies with the Orisa, and the Nyabu will now trigger an enormous amount of DP reduction on here. And honestly, for being able to evolve for the cheap way that it does with the reduction of the unique emblem, it's still pretty good. But yeah, I'm not quite sure if the familiar token part there really mattered, but it looks like the last security was also another security Digimon. And again, this is the decklist that I have. That's both of those were the starter Shushumons inside of that security, and I think it's actually very rare for those to show up in security. But overall, the matchup for the Puppets deck into Ulforce is definitely a little bit more favored for Puppets, so long as you can establish your level 5 protection and can get a wide enough board on the field as soon as you can. Ulforce, I think, is one of those decks where it has to just sort of worry about building up 2 different bodies, and the fact that it doesn't have protection against DP makes it really difficult in there. I think if Greg had been able to find a 3rd Rena and then either an Ulforceveedramon X antibody, I think that game is there then for him. I'm not sure if he's able to get over 14k DP, because at that point the Nyabutmon is the only thing you're really worried about if you have a little bit of DP boost. The thresholds for like those level 6s and 7s are going to be 11, 12, and 14, but because Ulforce doesn't have to worry about the Sendrils, it just has to worry about the Kuguyamon and the Nyabutmon. So there was that one. We ended up doing like a best of 3 on here, but we're gonna save that for later. So thank you for joining me on this. And honestly, the matchup was really fun for us to learn, and it taught us a lot about sequencing, and also that evade is really great, except DP reduction will always be a nightmare for decks like that. But thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.